From WCPO 9 Sports, this is Sports of All Sorts.
What up? Welcome to Sports of All Sorts. I'm Reggie Wilson. This is an unprecedented time in the world of sports, and quite frankly, the world in general. And with all that's going on, sports may seem like a footnote to some in the grand scheme of societal issues right now. But sports are fun. They unify us. They give us a reprieve. The games are canceled for the time being, but the show must go on. And on this show, our focus is sports of all sorts. And that's exactly what we are going to do tonight. So let's rock. The Wyoming boys basketball team had its undefeated season and state title hopes end in the district championship with a loss to Alter. But the future is bright behind a young baller with hoops in his bloodline. For Isaiah Walker, it's all about the spin.
You're not supposed to change the free throw routine, so I've never changed it. And I do the same amount of spins. I do 10 spins every time. It takes about 6 to 7 seconds, literally every time. But when you play people, they think it takes 15 seconds.
I'm getting on refs because you can see them thinking about getting close. I'm like, don't even call it.
At the line, this stops his head from spinning.
I think it just gives me a second to calm down. I stay locked in on the hoop, and I always take like 3 or 4 deep breaths and just envision myself making the free throw.
When you're a really good free throw shooter, I don't think you mess with your routine at all.
The Wyoming junior is growing towards the pinnacle of his rotation on the court.
I live right up the street, and he's at my house at 5 in the morning getting my keys. I mean, he shoots. He's in the gym at night.
Isaiah led the CHL in scoring with nearly 25 points a game, averaging close to a double-double this past season. And he sparked the attention of several Division I programs.
It's a testament to the work I put in the offseason, so I have no worries about how I was going to perform this year because I knew what I did in the summer because I really wanted to be great.
Across the court, a father looks at a newer spin on himself.
It's hard for me to see it, but my parents, for example, will say, him and I we walk the same or we run the same. I think we have a similar build. You can't tell now, but back in the day, I was actually pretty thin when I played.
Tyrique Walker was a decorated athlete, playing 3 seasons at Hamilton. Named Ohio Mr. Basketball in 1990 before playing 4 years at Xavier.
The end result, Tyrique Walker.
I was very athletic, and I used my athleticism. I played above the rim so I could get away with certain things.
Tyrique spun his success to an 8-year pro career in Poland, where he was a 7-time All-Star and 2-time league MVP. He led his Polish team to 2 championships and was inducted into the Butler County Sports Hall of Fame in 2009. Then life came full circle.
He's much more skilled than I was when I played. The way he can finish with his left, the way he shoots threes. He does a lot of those different things that I probably didn't do until maybe a later age.
A lot of high praise from the high flyer, but still some competition between the 2 ballers.
We always talk about how many dunks he had this senior year, and I always tell him I'm going to beat that, and then he always tries to downplay my dunks.
I had 90 dunks my senior year, so he's not going to get that. It's not going to be close.
But no one-on-ones anytime soon.
At this point, if I tried to play him now, it probably would be ugly on my part.
Just catch a body.
Still, a lot of respect.
He's been where I am right now, so whenever I need anything, I can go to him. He can give me insight, after the games. He always tells me what I did right, what I did wrong.
Tyrique takes joy in his son's success and thinks his ceiling is unlimited as long as he's not spinning his wheels.
Because at some point, the ball is going to stop bouncing, and when it does, you don't want to have to reminisce and look back at, I wish I would have done this and I wish I would have done that.
Isaiah's wish is that the spinoff is better than the original.
It's great having someone like him as my dad, but I'm trying to do this for me and make a name for myself.
No signs of LeVar, LaMelo, or Lonzo, but ball is definitely in the Walker family. Isaiah says he hopes to boost his profile this summer on the AAU circuit and see what new offers may come in before making a college decision. Switching gears, we all know Rodney Heath from his time with the Bengals. He comes on this show every week in the fall to talk football. But Rodney may be leaving a bigger legacy on the track when it's all said and done. We caught up with the Lakota East track and field head coach and his talented family this week. Check it out.
You and Kim raised up these kids that are highly successful. So go ahead and let us know who you got sitting on the couch with you.
Introducing the youthful ones that took over from all our athletic abilities. When we start with the oldest one on the end, That's Autumn Heath. She's a graduate of Purdue University, ran track there, also state champion as well. We got in the middle, we got Kaylin. All right, and Kaylin's in her freshman year at Ohio State. She's also was a state champion. And we got our senior, RJ, Rodney Jr. And he, of course, he has all the pizzazz or whatever you want to call it. But nah, he's also a state champion, and couldn't do anything without my lovely wife, Kimberly. She's also, believe it or not, she's also a state champion, also from Pennsylvania. So everything, hey, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, man, for real.
Rodney, a lot of people know about, you as a football player, but you've built quite the career, kind of coaching up track and field as well. And now you have children to show for it. What's it like for you kind of transitioning into like this track dad?
I think one thing that helped me with the transition is football has been my life. And, it's a normalcy to me where having track and field also balanced me, having my family to where we can go in a whole nother direction with a different sport, but also a sport that's so demanding. And I think one of the things that I really learned from, my wife, when she started, we met at University of Minnesota, and she came in as a sprinter. And one of the things that I took from her is, it's not easy to be a sprinter. It's not easy to be a track athlete. And, us football guys, we jump out there and think that we can go out and just run. I run a 4.3 or 4.2 or whatever. But, try and run a 400. Try and run, 300 and, or 200 at that, let alone 100. So for my family to be able to be successful in that sport, I think it really helps them in any sport, anything that they want to do in life. And that's one thing I am proud about it. And it helped me to be away from football to really learn a lot about track and field.
Kim, what's it like to see your kids follow in your footsteps?
It's amazing. Just the simple fact that they're all faster than me, faster than Rodney was, but, that's really the goal. We want them to do better, than what we did. We want them to go beyond, what we've done and what we've established. So, for me, it's amazing. I love it. I enjoy watching them.
Autumn, you've run and they're kind of coming behind you. What have you been telling them as they continue on in their careers?
I just try to, of course, I'm always encouraging them and just giving them tips. Just learning from my mistakes, and just, tell them like small things like make sure you cool down and, just have the right headspace when you're on the track and, just things like that.
Kaylin and RJ, you all have kind of gotten that year cut short a little bit. Kaylin, what's it like for you with how bizarre this season has kind of started and ended, if you will, because of the coronavirus?
I had like very, very specific goals that I wanted to reach and I was set to reach. And it sucks for me and like everybody else, not even me, this affected, my brother's affected as well. It sucks that, we had this season cut short because we were really focused and like set to do really big things. And we're not going to let it keep us back. We're still going to keep moving forward and keep progressing, and it's not going to let us stop us.
What's next?
Going through this as a coach as well, as parents, the first thing is safety, for our families, for everybody's family, and respecting everything that's been, given out from the governor as well as from the president to make sure that, we can stop, this disease and keep it from hurting other families.
What about you, Ajay? What do you want to accomplish?
I take every day just one step at a time, Obviously my goal, yes, I want to win state. Yes, I want to be a national champion. Yeah, I want to do all those things, but I just have to take it day by day.
But I saw y'all brought some jewelry with y'all. What y'all got?
So basically, this is my gold medal when I won the indoor way back when 2014 and the 60. So this is mine.
Yeah, same thing, except it was. Yeah, in the 60s as well. I got a gold.
Same in the 60s.
To be able to have stage in the 60, as well as the girls having state titles outdoor in the 100. And, if we get through the season, hopefully we can not be the pressure. No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure.
I hope you all stay healthy and stay safe and look forward to talking to you all down the road. Hopefully you all get back out there on the track.
Thank you. We'll figure it out. Thank you.
That is one fast family. After the break, we talk some more hoops. The UC women are thriving in their cultural differences. We'll share a story on a player's journey from Egypt to Clifton coming up. Welcome back. At 6 feet 4 inches tall, UC women's basketball player Nesma Khalifa stands out. The second-year transfer student from Egypt is fulfilling her dream of playing Division I basketball here in Cincinnati. As a practicing Muslim, Khalifa also stands out because she chooses to wear a hijab, a traditional headscarf commonly worn by Muslim women. Khalifa, her teammates, and coaches are all learning from each other. This isn't fun at the movies. This is UC's women's basketball team preparing for an upcoming game. Among them is Nesma Khalifa of Alexandria, Egypt, who has been preparing for a Division I basketball role her whole life.
I was walking with my mom in the club in Egypt, and I was so tall for my age.
Khalifa has been playing basketball for 12 years, including as a member of the Egyptian national team.
Since I hold the ball, I loved it.
Khalifa's decision to wear a hijab has opened her up to a lot of questions.
These are how you wear it, why and when you can take it off or when you can so it's common questions. I feel proud actually. I feel proud to present my country, to present a religion, different religion people don't see here that much.
With heightened anti-Islamic sentiment in the United States, Khalifa says she occasionally feels fear, but she trusts her friends, teammates, and coach to have her back.
When I first talked to her, that was one of the things we talked about. Very strong in her faith, her belief in who she was going to be. And as a coach, I love it.
Head coach Michelle Clark-Hurd says she's privileged to work with 5 international players on the team.
We get to grow every day. We learn something new more and more, and that's what it's all about. If you're not learning and growing, you're just staying in one spot.
Khalifa says she plans to stay in the United States after graduating from UC and would like to pursue a career in interior design. But she still has 2 more years left of hoops, with plenty more to achieve after the Bearcats' magical season was cut short in the AAC championship game. Well, this week, WCPO 9 sports reporter Mike Dyer, or as I like to call him, our high school sports guru, has been catching up with different people in the sports community about how they're spending this downtime during the coronavirus outbreak. Mike caught up with the always colorful Tom Bolden. Check out his conversation with the Lakota West head football coach.
I'm pleased to be joined by Lakota West head football coach Tom Bolden. Tom, thanks for taking some time, and certainly circumstances that are beyond anybody's control right now, but wanted to check in with you and see how you're doing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Other than my wife, my kids, and my dogs, you're the first person I've talked to in a little bit, so this is good.
Well, what struck me was that awesome photo you had of you and Luke, your sons Luke and Mitchell, working out, getting after it. I know a lot of coaches, high school coaches, are doing the same thing, but how much fun did you have with that weightlifting session with those 2 guys?
Yeah, it was really cool. We'll do it again here in a little bit when I'm done with you. It's old school. Open up the garage. My wife is a little mad that we've turned the garage into a workout room, so her car's out in the driveway. But it is what it is. We're going to make the best we can do with the situation that we got, and hopefully not just our kids that are in this no contact period, but everyone else kids can find a way to get some work in.
What have you been telling your players within the program? I mean, have you sent them home or emailed them texted them any instructions of what they can do by themselves?
Yeah, we were pretty proactive with the whole thing. Our district last Friday did a wonderful. We technically spring break this week, so last Friday was basically a virtual day where the kids practiced to training from at home with the teachers at school in terms of if we run into this situation that we're currently in. So we were proactive from our part, from the football, and put together a workout with Isaac Tanner, my strength coach who works for Beacon, and we use a system called Team Builder. So we basically did 2 different types of workouts One was if you were able to go to a gym at that time, but obviously that's done, or if you had equipment at home. And the other one is if you had no equipment, just things that you could find, body weight, stuff like that.
What's kind of the sense you get among your Lakota West players of how they're doing, how they're coping, and maybe words of encouragement that you're giving them?
We're a season away, so we're gonna be okay. We'll like I said, the old Marine Corps creed of adapt, improvise, and overcome. We'll make that happen with our workouts, and hopefully when this passes, we'll be able to get together. The ones I feel sorry for is the baseball kids. Mitch made the baseball team in Lakota West. All his teammates, all lacrosse kids, and not just at West, but all over. I feel bad for the winter sports kids whose tournament got cut short, for the coaches, for their fan base. Like I said, I feel bad for the spring sport kids, and hopefully we'll get past this and we'll be able to salvage something.
What would you say just to people who are, maybe down on their luck right now, just kind of thinking, boy, this is never going to end?
If people would realize, I talk to the football kids about it all the time in terms of you're part of something bigger than yourself, and if we can take that in society and realize that we're all part of something bigger than ourselves, we might be a lot better off, and hopefully people can learn not only take care of themselves during this time, but definitely take care of others and control what you can control, and do what the experts tell us, and find a way we'll get through this.
What else are you doing to pass the time, you and your family, Tom?
Well, my wife's got a lot of projects here around the house, things like that. Looking like Tom Hanks from Castaway. When my dogs and kids aren't around, I'm talking to a football. So it's one of those things where I keep busy. I'll have a whole new offense next fall, a whole new defense, because I've got all this time to see what all these experts are doing on video on the computer and all that. So we'll be a whole different offense and defense next year at Lakota West. So yeah, this painting behind me, I did that. Can you see that? Oh, I might have.
Oh man, how about that?
Yeah, see that right there, hanging here in the kitchen. That took me about a half a day that I did that.
Really appreciate your perspective, and hang in there.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks, Mike. Hope you guys are doing well.
Coach Bolden is one fun guy. He gave some inside information, too. Firebirds might have a new look offense and defense next season with all this time Coach has in the lab to cook something up. Well, Xavier adopted a mantra that re-energized the season when the team was on the ropes. Coming up, the story behind the man who created the vibe. Welcome back to Sports of All Sorts. Xavier ended its season with a disappointing loss in the Big East tournament to DePaul, leaving the squad on the bubble of the dance before the dance was ultimately canceled. But the Musketeers wouldn't have been in the conversation without their senior big man who used a single word to redefine the season. Jones dunks like he's angry at the rim. Tyrique Jones is unbreakable.
So with everything I do, if I'm going after a rebound, going to the rim, just try to be the toughest guy.
He's the heart and soul of Xavier basketball.
Our team takes a lot of his character, his personality on. And I told him he can't have days off. There are no days off. And days off mean losses.
Before the season, Coach Steele said Jones needed to be the best big man in the Big East.
It's just, Coach always tells me good players want to be coached, and just never settle, never be satisfied with what you do. Always find ways to improve and always find ways to do more.
Jones responded in a big way. Off the feed, he throws it down. He's third in the nation with 20 double-doubles this season and leads the Big East in rebounding with 11 a game.
I guess to everybody else, it seems like I'm in the zone. I'm just trying to go out there and do whatever it takes to win. If that's grabbing rebounds, blocking shots, just even scoring the ball, just trying to help this team win as many games as possible.
He even pulled down 18 rebounds in 3 straight games. But Coach Steele still isn't satisfied.
I'm hard on Tyrique because I believe in him. I know what he's capable of doing, and I've said it all year. Even when he's been averaging a double-double or close to it, I didn't think he was playing well because this is what he's capable of doing when he puts his mind to it. He has, in my opinion, can be the best rebounder in all of college basketball.
The Musketeers endured a tough stretch in January, losing 5 of 7 games. After a double overtime loss to Marquette, the team looked broken. Then Jones sent a text message that helped turn the season around.
Tyrique Jones. Through this whole thing, let's just try to become unbreakable. And it's stuck. It's what we use now to break down every huddle, everything we do. We just say unbreakable.
Showing that tough times don't last, but tough people do.
I think he's the best big man in our league, and I don't even think it's even close, and I'm proud of him.
Tyrique says his college basketball dream was to play on a Monday night in April. While it doesn't look like that dream will be fulfilled this season, we're looking forward to seeing his unbreakable spirit on display in whatever he does next. We'll be right back to wrap up the show. Welcome back. Sports of all sorts is a labor of love. I'm beyond grateful for the opportunity to do this show every week. With that being said, we are going to take a little bit of a break and dedicate our time focusing on what's going on during this coronavirus pandemic. As I said at the top of the show, we are in an unprecedented time. But as so many others have said, we are in this together. We will get through this. In the meantime, we are still dedicated to telling the sports stories that matter to you. So keep reaching out and sharing your sports story ideas with us, and we'll keep feeding your need for sports. Well, we got to go. Until next time, as my grandma would say, stay encouraged, have a good night, and a very healthy and blessed week.